Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Welcome to the Lee Summit Sign Department. We are going to walk you through our process from start to finish. We make signs as needed here. It's not like we just go out into the field and place a speed limit sign here, no parking here. Our traffic engineers, they go through and they'll do field studies. They'll send us down an engineering work order for us to go out, place new signs or remove signs as needed. Coming from the material, our blanks come in and they're just aluminum blanks. So we can put our white, our red, our fluorescent yellow, green, whatever. And basically what it looks like is just that there. Throw it up into the roller. And once we got it covered, take it to our work table here, and Tim will cut the corners, cut all the access off to where it's lined up right. As far as the plotter and the software that we use, there's a street name sign there, and he's gonna go ahead and print that out on the plotter so you can see the plotter and how it operates and runs. There's standards for the height, even just on letters on the sign blank. Basically what we have on the computer there is it's pretty much set up to those. And it goes through, it's got a very small but sharp needle that goes through and cuts everything out letter by letter. Once that's done cutting, our next stage would be bringing it over here. Currently picking out the sign letters right now. We call it weeding or picking or however you want to call it. Next, putting it on the transfer tape. Then after it's taped, we bring it over to the roller. That's where we apply it to the actual sign blank. And we'll roll it through one time just to get the air bubbles out. And the last stage is basically just taking the transfer tape off the front of it. And there's a finished product of the street name sign. We'll take you out to the field and show you our process that we go through. We're gonna go out and follow our sign guys and get something installed for you. This is where we check our underground utilities. Tim, you got AT&T?
AT&T's back here.
Evergy, Google, so we should be good to go. We normally put all of our stuff together out in the field. Then once the base is installed, we'll go ahead and put the post in there. We've come up to perfect. And that's how we do it. Simple. Quick.
Traditionally, we think as police officers, those responding to law enforcement needs within the community. But honestly, we are there to serve our citizens, and our citizens do go into crisis. They do have mental health crises, and we're being called to those scenes on a regular basis. In order to help serve those citizens better, we did initiate the Crisis Intervention Team Program. These are officers that are specially trained to de-escalate crisis situations. Recently, we've brought co-responders onto the scene, licensed qualified mental health professionals housed within our police department, and they respond with those officers directly to those scenes where a crisis is occurring so they can interact with that citizen and get them the help they need right there on that scene.
The co-responders are either a bachelor or master level in a behavioral health-related field. They wear plain clothes, they don't carry weapons or anything like that. They have a
I have a police radio that I listen to all day. Listen for, those key words: mental health, behavioral health, crisis.
There's a lot of officers that just call for me. I have my own radio number.
I also have the ability to self-dispatch to them and say 982 is en route.
Officers en route, 914, Armstrong.
So typically I arrive after they've made it safe. I'll make contact and get kind of the rundown, and then I just kind of jump right in.
I'm like, hey, my name's Allison. I'm a mental health professional. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take you to jail or arrest you.
Sometimes all a person needs is a voice, someone neutral, someone outside that, can listen. I do a lot of safety planning, including family, their support network, who's close to you. If they're home alone, who can come over and hang out with you today? Can we lock away your sharps? Can we put up your meds? Do you need meds? Can we get you over to the urgent care to get you assessed for your medications? Some of them also are like, oh, I'm so glad you came. This made me feel so much better.
Our main goal as the co-responders is to, one, get people connected to the services that they need, and also divert from emergency rooms and jails.
And they almost get a different view of the police responding. That lets me know you care and the officers care.
Please, how can we help you?
My husband has...
In 2020, we had 722 mental health related calls for service. 2022, by that time, 1,479. These mental health related calls for service are increasing. How we're responding to that is increasing the number of crisis intervention team officers we have available, as well as the number of co-responders we have available to respond on these calls.
So what I think is important for the community to know about the co-responder program is that we're here, we exist. All you have to do when you call 911 is ask for us. Say, hey, I want a co-responder to respond to this crisis, and we'll go. I was really struggling about 8 years ago on my personal journey with mental health, and I met some amazing social workers and amazing programs that have helped me get to where I am today. I really couldn't see myself doing anything else. We want to help, and that's what we love to do.
So I had a client, we got a call, she had some suicidal ideations, and she really felt that she had nobody. And and getting to know her story and getting to know who comes around and sees you, well, then we found a support person, and they responded immediately, and we made a plan. I called back and checked on her in an hour, and then I checked on her in 2 hours. We were able to get her into the additional services to where she talks to someone every week or more. I just took a person that really just thought they had nobody and nobody would show up for them, and show them you do. And you'll be amazed who is in your corner if you just simply say, I need a little help.
Good questions. Yes, Councilmember Edson.
Since this is a cooperative agreement, is this similar to like when we buy things through the market?
It'd be similar. We don't buy through them.
We moved to Lee Summit right before we had our third child, and we ended up raising all 4 of our children here. And it's been just such a great place to raise kids. Well, I'd been involved in government and politics for a long time, different aspects of it. And then when I was raising my kids, I was very involved in different community organizations and involved with the schools. And as my kids got older, and I saw them starting to leave the community, I realized that there were some things that needed to be done in order to attract younger people back to Lee Summit, and I wanted to be part of that conversation. We need to work on economic development and keep trying to get more jobs here that pay well so that they will attract our kids. We have this great school system that we're all paying for, and yet our kids graduate and leave. We need to work with the school districts and with the businesses to create an environment that keeps our kids here. We have a great community with great housing, but we also don't have enough housing that is attainable for middle class. People who are just starting in the workforce can't afford to buy a house here at this point in time. If you take your average firefighter and your teacher and they're married, it's very hard for them to buy a house in Lee Summit. So some of my priorities when I ran were economic development, attainable housing, and public safety. When I ran 6 years ago, our police officers and our firefighters were some of the worst paid public safety folks in the metro area. And in the past 6 years, We've done a great job of getting their pay up, getting their benefits up, and now there will be a public safety tax, which will be a game changer for Lee Summit. It will help us to attract and retain new talent for the coming years. All communities are having a hard time recruiting and retaining police and firefighters. So if we can be a place that they want to come and is desirable, it's going to be great for the well-being of our community. We need to make sure that not only are we paying people well, but that we have enough fire stations as the city grows. We need to make sure that we grow the police department. Something else I'm really proud of, the replacement of Fire Station 4 and 5. I started taking council members on tours of Fire Station number 4 to show them how badly a replacement for that station was needed. There are so many opportunities to get involved in this community, whether it's serving on a committee, whether it's participating in the Citizens Leadership Academy, which the city sponsors. It's easy to sit at home and complain and think you understand how it works, and then when you actually understand how it works, you have a better appreciation for it, and you'll want to get involved more. I just wanted to clarify that. I think Hillary did a great job. Thank you.
prepared a prayer if you would
Sure.
entertain that.
No,
Yes.
I would appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome everybody to Rules Committee today, Thursday, February 15th. It's 11:30. We're meeting by Zoom. And I'd like to begin. I guess we do that. We do that first, or sorry, protocol here.
We could.
We'll do the prayer first, and then we'll do roll call.
Yeah, we do the invocation and then roll call.
Very good. So Councilmember DeMauro, I appreciate the offer, and yes, I would be glad if you would offer prayer for us.
Okay. Thank you. Heavenly Father, we ask you to comfort the Lopez and Galvin families, along with all those affected by yesterday's tragedy, and help them find strength and solace in this time of need. Bring them peace, and may they know that we all stand in support of them, and may they find comfort in the love of family and friends in the loss of Lisa. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilmember DeMauro, for being thoughtful and mindful of Beto, his family, and his sister's family. We will have a roll call to begin our meeting today.
Councilmember Felker?
I'm here.
Councilmember Shields?
Here.
Councilmember Edson?
Here.
And Councilmember DeMauro?
Here.
All right, so I guess my first order of business or what's on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Chair, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Shields, a second by Councilmember DeMauro to approve the agenda. Any discussion of the motion? See no discussion. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shields?
Aye.
Councilmember DeMauro?
Aye.
Councilmember Felker?
Aye.
And Councilmember Edson?
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is approved. Do we have any public comments?
I've not
Not
been
that I'm aware
aware of any. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So before we begin with business, I'm just going to ask real quickly, Ms. Brennan, you're new to our group here today. Are you a permanent replacement or are you going to be just with us today?
I am just with you today, filling in for Gina.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you. Sorry we don't have
Thank you so
Gina,
much.
thank you for filling
I
in.
appreciate that.
Okay, we'll begin with our items of business. First is approval of the action letter for last month's meeting. Do I have a motion?
Chair, I move to approve the action letter for the January 18th, 2024 Rules Committee meeting.
Second.
Okay. Just a little worried there for a moment. We've got a motion and a second from Councilmember Shields and Councilmember Edson to approve our January 18th action letter. Any discussion? See no discussion. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Edson.
Aye.
Councilmember Felker.
Aye.
Councilmember DeMauro.
Aye.
And Councilmember Shields.
Aye.
Okay, the action letter stands approved. Okay, our first item of additional business is TMP 2925. Mr. Head, do you want to lead us off a little bit?
For sure. So at the last meeting, there was discussion around several different rules and during the sort of the election season. And I think the one item that we could say we definitely had some consensus on was moving back the date of the current prohibition that prevents city staff and city resources to be utilized during the election season or during a portion of the election season for those district-specific sorts of meetings. I think the idea back at the time when this is passed was we wanted to avoid a situation where we could give the appearance that city staff was either promoting or not promoting a particular council member who might be running for re-election or election, something like that. The discussion last week was, and I felt like we had consensus, was to move that date where that prohibition kicks in from February 1st. So the prohibition right now would start on February 1st of the year in which the election was held and go through the election date. The idea from last month was to move that back to the first day of candidate filing. So the point at which a person declares that they are a candidate early December through the election date, city resources and staff will not be used for those district specific sorts of meetings. So you would have about a 5-month period, for a little over 4-month period, I guess, in which that prohibition would apply instead of just a kind of a 2-month period where that would apply. So this bill does that. Presently, the bill says that no member of city staff shall appear in any official capacity at any forum identified as a district-specific public forum from and after February 1st of any year in which a general municipal election is to be held. We are taking out that February 1st part, and we are instead saying that we will not have any city staff appear from and after the first day of candidate filing for a city municipal office. We only have council member offices and judge offices, and when the judges are being elected, so are the council members. So I don't think we have to be specific to council. I think we can say municipal office. But that's ultimately what the bill does. It just backs that prohibition up to early December through the election date, as opposed to February 1st to the election date. And if it would be helpful, I can put that up on the screen if you want to see the actual language.
I think that would be great. Please do.
Oh, Crystal, can you please enable sharing? She is locked up on my screen.
Or staring very intently, one of the two.
Yeah.
I don't see her moving. I suppose that I don't have the ability to share either. I'm looking just to make sure.
Yeah, I tried to, and it didn't give me the option.
Lock this out.
Oh, she's going to log in on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, she should be the host. She should be able to.
Okay, I'm on the phone. Sorry, it froze up on the computer and I could not get it to start again. Wait just a second. You have to remember where all the buttons are after you do it on the phone.
Yeah, you were staring very intently at us from your computer screen.
It does not want to let anything work.
Can you make me host?
I'm trying to do now.
Zoom is being difficult today.
There we go.
Apologize for the technical difficulties.
There we go. So you can see what we did there. Oh,
That actually showed Hillary sharing. So Hillary, did you have you started to share?
Yeah, I was trying to, but I wanted to make sure I was showing you guys the right screen. Let me try again. Do you see the text that we're looking at?
Yep.
The right one? Okay. Then please continue. I just pulled it up on my computer.
So as you can see there, we have the new language is in bold. The language that is struck through would be removed. So it would read, no member of city staff shall appear in any official capacity at any forum identified as a district-specific public forum from and after the first day of candidate filing for a city municipal office until such election day is passed. And we're striking out the February 1st of any year in which a general municipal election is to be held. So that's the only change to the ordinance that we're making, is just backing up that date when it begins.
Thank you, Mr. Head, for explaining it and for the Herculean effort of getting it on our screen. Everybody involved, thank you. Do we have any questions for Mr. Head? Anything about the ordinance that we want to discuss as a committee, council or committee members? Anything that you have questions about?
I think the changes are fine, make sense. I highlighted on here where it says, whereas this ordinance modifies the beginning date of such prohibitions to coincide with first date of candidate filing for city council. I wonder if we should change that to city municipal offices just to be consistent with the latter part of the ordinance, but otherwise I have no issues.
Yep. Very good. Good catch, Councilmember Shields. Anything else, Councilmembers DeMauro and Edson?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right, I think it's a going once, going twice. So, Mr. Head, any further comments?
No. If the committee is in such a mind, you can vote to send this on to City Council with a recommendation of approval.
Okay. So
Chair?
I would entertain a motion. Councilmember DeMauro?
Yes, thank you. I move to advance TMP 2925 to the full council with a recommendation of approval and ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Section 12-4, use of city staff and resources prior to an election to modify the terms thereof to coincide with the first date of candidate filing.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember DeMauro and a second by Councilmember Edson to advance TMP 2925 to full council with the recommendation for approval. Do you have any further discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing no discussion on the motion, I have a roll call, please.
Councilmember DeMauro,
Aye.
Councilmember Edson,
Aye.
Councilmember Schultz,
Aye.
and Councilmember Felker.
Aye. Okay, the proposed ordinance advances. We'll get a chance to talk about it soon again. Let's move on to roundtable. Council members, any roundtable that you have for this meeting?
Nothing.
No.
Okay, I don't have anything either. Ms. Weber, do you have something for us? I think you were prepared to share some things. Certainly, Mr. Head, anyone else? But I think, Ms. Weber, I know we were anticipating hearing something from you.
Yeah, so I wanted to give everyone an update on, I know it's a small thing, but I just want to let you know where we were. We're calling them pre-meeting announcements that will show on the screen in the council chambers. We're working on getting language up for those and getting them designed where they're prettier than what I designed because Creative Services didn't think mine were visually appealing.
Well, they should have left it to the Rules Committee. I mean, we would have made it look really good.
What we've included so far are some basic things like where our restrooms, our exits, and our water fountains are, just some health and wellness information. It will then give information on public comment, but also give information on public hearing so that people know that there are two different opportunities depending on what you're coming to speak on. Yeah. But something I wanted to ask, it seems like a no-brainer, but it's sometimes easy as someone who's there all the time to overlook something, but I think it'd be helpful to have some additional signage as you enter the council chambers. You know, we have the citizen comment forms on the table, but there's nothing that really grabbed your attention and says, hey, want to tell us, you know, something today, please fill this out, provide it to the clerk. We've even joked about having a space where we can put a picture of who the clerk is. So we can change it out if it's Stacy or Trisha or somebody else, but so that they know who to walk up to. Because you say clerk, they didn't have to feel confident enough to go ask somebody who's the clerk or things like that. So literally put her picture on there so they know where to give it, and then put some signage on her little desk that says, you know, please submit public comment forms here, just to make it as non-intimidating as possible.
Yeah. Crystal, I think.
Well.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say one other thing that we might want to include, and it just kind of struck me. We probably want to say something in there about if you have exhibits or written information that you want to give the council, provide that to the city clerk. Please don't attempt to hand that out directly to the council. Provide that to the city clerk, and she will distribute it.
Are you talking about for the table signage, or we already have that on the slides, but you mean for the table signage too?
On the slide, I haven't seen it, so I didn't know, but we need to have that on there because I know we've had kind of some issues with that lately, and we need to try to nip that in the bud if we can.
And as we get this worked out and the actual information we're trying to provide works well, we'll also probably try to add in a slide every meeting or so with just an upcoming event. So because it's going to scroll several times, you know, for half an hour or so. So we'll try to put something that's just also a chance to let people know something important that we want them to know.
And we know it won't be a forum for a council member.
That's right.
Okay. I'm trying to spruce up this rules committee meeting just a little bit, to have a little bit of humor, but okay.
But when we're not in election season, we could definitely put that up on the slide.
Yes. Okay.
The only comment I have is to keep it businesslike. I mean, I'm not much for frivolity in a council chambers, because you want people to understand that it's a legislative body and we're making important decisions. But we want to be very, very, very inviting and hear what people have to say, but not too much frivolity. Make it businesslike. That's, and the other thing too, on the signs outside. You didn't say defibrillator, but I think that should be on there too. And by the way, did we ever add another one down in the main atrium? I know there's one. I know exactly where it is, but I had asked to maybe have another one added, because that one's quite a ways away.
You know, I actually don't know because I haven't done defibrillator training since it's been a year, so I can't remember, but I can ask Ryan Elam where they are on that.
But definitely the one we do have a sign where it may be. I know where it is, but.
And in the future, if we can consider MoDOT, if you've been to any of their meetings lately, they have a full health and safety briefing at the beginning of each public meeting, where they even go so far as to have people volunteer who's going to call 911 if there's an incident, who's going to provide aid if there's an incident. We're lucky we have professionals in most of our public meetings to render aid if needed, but that's something
we have Councilmember Felker. He knows where the button is.
That's true.
I know where the button. Aren't there multiple buttons? There's at least one.
There's three.
I think that John has the button I used to have. I might still have a button where I'm at now. I can't believe they moved me there. There's still a button.
I have hit the buttons in the building a few times accidentally as well, so I understand the feeling.
Well, so my only question, and sorry, Crystal, if you've said this, but when do we expect to start seeing those changes? You think it's within this month, next month?
I hopefully have them up in March. We might have them sooner, but I always like to give you a farther out timeline because I am working with other people that need time to test it out.
Okay.
But it seems like it should be fairly simple, but anytime we say that for technology in the council chambers, we jinx ourselves. So
got it. Okay. Any questions for Ms. Weber? Okay. Well, unless there are no other items, and I don't see anyone raising their hand or moving their camera, this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you all for attending.
Can I
Oh,
can I mention one thing?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Ms. Brennan.
The next scheduled meeting is for March 21st at 11:30. Just
okay,
note
we'll keep it there. If unless anyone at this time has an immediate need to say that's not good, and I'm not seeing anyone. Mr. Head, we hope you have a wonderful vacation coming up. Have a great time. We look forward to hearing about it. Maybe seeing some pictures.
Yep, see some pictures, definitely.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.